So I can't stand mac and cheese. I haven't been able to eat it since I was 7 years old at Dan Kranz's house. I had it, threw up everywhere, and ever since I haven't touched a lick of mac and cheese, despite me making it for my kids and then basically surviving on it. I haven't had a taste, I haven't touched it or gone near it. Now, I tell you this because I think it's very relevant to your investing behaviors. So, two big stories come from this that I think are relevant. One is the fact that past experiences do affect our current decisions, right or wrong. And two is, think of all the things I've missed out on through the years by not having mac and cheese. Been to restaurants where they're known for their famous XYZ mac and cheese. I've had a lot of opportunities to go share and enjoy in the pleasures of macaroni and cheese, and I've missed out while others have enjoyed it. So let's talk how this is relevant to your investing. So for starters, if I let one bad experience in my investing future affect my decisions for all time. For instance, if in '08, after the markets were down, I went conservative and said I will never experience that again, you're right, you have never experienced it again, your version of macaroni and cheese, and yet you haven't experienced all the benefits that we all know come from eating mac and cheese, or in this case, the stock markets, right? Yes, you would have avoided a 20 or only mitigated 20% down in 2008, although that was relatively short-lived, and you would have doubled, tripled your money since then if you didn't act foolishly, or I guess foolish is somewhat the wrong word, but act emotionally and let it affect your future decisions. So one is the miss out factor. Two is, how do we allow past decisions not to fully influence our future, or past experiences to fully influence our future decisions? Really hard thing to do. And we're on the forefront of it at Diversified. Really, a lot of it comes down to what's called financial and behavioral finance. So there's the element of investing and giving smart advice, and then there's the emotional side, which we all fall victim to. And it shows it rears its head in a lot of different regards, financial and behavioral finance. So we've seen a lot of it recently, and I think it's important to remember that a lot of these instances, a lot of these events, a lot of these things that happen to you in your life, if you take the macro view and you start looking at it from there and not let it totally ruin your experience and not let it totally affect how you look at things moving forward, and start listening to guidance from people who live in this world, generally you're better off. Now, there's a lot of biases. A few that are recent now are the recency bias, which is what just happened essentially is going to continue. You overweight recent events. For instance, the markets have gone down 20% this year. That's all you remember, despite being on a basically decade and a half toward upheaval here in the stock markets, where they've doubled and tripled. We forget that. We overweight the recent events. Overconfidence bias, so we overweight our own thoughts. A lot of us during these times feel that way. They get one nugget from a Fox News or a CNN or this blog or that blog or this blog, and they should in some cases, but mostly they put more weighting behind that and what they know than equal information elsewhere. We see anchoring bias, especially during downturns. So this speaks to the fact that us as individuals, we overvalue the first piece of information versus subsequent. So we hear there's a recession, forget that we don't hear how deep it's going to be, and this is a normal occurrence in market fluctuations and economic cycles. But anything thereafter, we just hold on to the information we may have heard 6 months ago. Remember, markets are forward-looking. So by the time we get that new piece of information that we're going to anchor behind, we've moved on. And certainly my favorite, the mac and cheese bias. So This one I see all the time, and I've named it. I have clients that come in and say, hey, my money's all in stable value or really secure stuff. And I inquire why, and the story generally goes something like this. Remember 1999 tech boom or '08 crisis? And I say, yeah, I do. And then they go on to tell me after their accounts were down 20, 30%, they went all conservative and never had to see a down day since then. And they're right. However, the macaroni side of this is that they also didn't get to experience the 3/4 up years out of 4 that we have. They didn't get to experience the massive upturn in the stock market that we have. All because they got one bad experience from the past, not allow them to think clearly moving forward. And again, I call it the macaroni and cheese bias. So there you have it. There's some thoughts for you. Hope it helps. Hope you find value in it. And as always, I'm Andrew Rosen, President of Diversified. Stay wealthy, stay healthy, and stay happy. Bye.